Hi friends, I'm here offering a brief meditation embodied prayer practice. And if you want to join me in this practice, I recommend that you just find some comfortable clothes. And if you're comfortable on the ground, you can be on the ground with me. I'm going to show you some of the postures from a seated position as well, in case that is more comfortable for you in your body. Either way, whether you're seated in a chair or on the ground, I just invite you to start by finding a comfortable seat. I'm sitting cross-legged. If that's comfortable for you, great. If you want to get a kitchen chair or a desk chair and just be seated, we're going to begin by closing our eyes and becoming aware of our breath. You don't need to do anything at this point to change your breath. You don't need to deepen or lengthen your breath, but simply become aware of each inhale and exhale. Try to become present to how your body feels with each breath. Maybe you feel your chest rise with the inhale, or your shoulders might lift, your spine on inhales, and on your exhale, you might feel your belly relax. Your shoulders might droop. Just begin by noticing what's happening in your body as you breathe. And this is a good time to begin to become aware of God inhabiting our breath. It's one of the first ways that the Bible talks about the presence of God. It's by calling God breath, hovering over the waters. So we know that as we inhale and exhale, even now in our bodies, we're experiencing the presence of God. Let's take a couple of deep breaths together, inhaling through your nose. Chest rises and spine lengthens. Let the breath circulate and then exhale through your nose. Again, we'll inhale through our noses and out through our mouths this time. Inhale. And exhale through your mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth again. Inhale. Spine lengthens. Let your breath circulate. And exhale through the mouth. If your eyes have been closed, you can blink them open. That's just a beginning breath meditation to bring us into our bodies, into awareness, into communication with God, awareness of God's presence with us. Our first posture today will be a butterfly pose. A butterfly pose can be done just by bringing the soles of your feet together. They can be close into your body or further out, whatever is comfortable for you. And if you're doing this from a seated position, you can do this one leg at a time. So you can simply bring one leg in towards your body. If you're flexible and you're seated in a chair, you might be able to bring your feet close. The other thing you can do is place one chair in front of you so that you have kind of a platform right in front of you to bring your feet up and touch the soles of your feet together. But I'm going to demonstrate this just from the floor. So bring the soles of your feet together. I like to take a moment and just use my thumbs to do a little bit of massage on the soles of my feet. And as I do this, I usually have a gratitude practice in this place of just thanking God for my feet, for keeping me steady and stable as I move around the world, for all the work that my feet do for me that I don't even notice. And then you can come into a comfortable position. If you need support under your knees, you can place a pillow on either side and just feel how it feels. Where are you feeling sensation? Perhaps in your outer hips. Maybe you can come into this position and you don't really feel any sensation at all. And if that's where you're at, then I invite you to begin to bend forward a little bit. Any amount is fine until you feel sensation, maybe along the outsides of your hips, maybe along the insides of your inner thighs. But wherever you feel that just right amount of sensation, you don't want to move all the way into the deepest possible stretch that you can, but you also don't want to be so comfortable that you're not feeling anything in your body. So I'm just going to find that just right amount of sensation. And right now I'm feeling a stretch along my outer hips and a little bit through my hamstrings. And when you find that place where you do have sensation in your body, probably in your hips, maybe in your lower back, then the invitation at this point is to find stillness. And I'm going to use my elbows and my fists to prop myself up so I can find a stillness that is really effortless. And if this isn't possible for you, feel free to use your hands as stability. You can allow your neck to drop, your chin to your chest. Whatever that position is for you that's comfortable, you can take that position right now.
Excuse me, Mom. The movie's starting without you.
Close the door behind you.
I want the bathroom.
Go in the other bathroom. And sometimes there are interruptions to our practice, and that's okay. When you find that just right position and you've committed to stillness, scan your body and be curious. Are there places in my body where I am holding more tension than I need to hold? Maybe you find that you're tensing through your inner thighs or your back to keep your body in a specific position. What would happen if you just let that go? If you melted those muscles into the ground, into your bones, just letting go completely as much as possible. And as you're here, having found that just right amount of sensation, having found that space of stillness, invite the presence of God into your awareness. Becoming aware that God lives and moves, and God has being within our physical bodies. What awareness of God is available to you as you move your body into this position and find stillness? So much of our spiritual lives are about striving, about effort. And this is an opportunity to find a different space, a more gentle, and more welcoming, and more peaceful space. You may find in this position that you encounter discomfort. Perhaps what first felt like just the right amount of sensation is now feeling like a lot of sensation. And if you need to listen to your body and back off, please do that. But the other invitation is to breathe through the discomfort, knowing that we won't be in this pose forever. And ask God to meet you here. Let's take 2 deep breaths together in this butterfly pose. And then slowly and gently, if you've leaned forward, you can come back to a gentle seat. I invite you to just lengthen your legs out in front of you. If you're seated on the floor, maybe shift your weight from left to right. And just let your body come out of that pose and feel its effects. And our second pose that we will come to today will also be on the floor in the seated position. And this pose is called shoelace pose. And again, I will show you on the floor and then I'll show you in a seat. So there's lots of phases of shoelace pose depending on your physiology and depending on your flexibility. The first phase of shoelace pose, if you have really tight hips, is going to be really similar to just sitting cross-legged. So if when you sit cross-legged you feel a lot of sensation in your hips, then this can be your shoelace pose and you can stop right here. If you don't feel a lot of sensation and you're looking for a little bit more, you can take your right leg over your left leg and find something that looks more like this. And if you want to take a pillow or a rolled up blanket or towel and place it under your top foot, that can provide some extra support. So your shoelace pose might look like this. If you have a lot of flexibility in your hips, you can tuck your bottom foot behind you and move so that your knees are stacked on top of each other. And this is full shoelace, sometimes called cow face pose. So you might feel a lot of sensation through your glutes and your hips. And then similar to butterfly pose, you can fold forward any amount. If you're doing this pose in a chair, then you can take one leg across, and maybe crossing a leg is enough. If not, you can take your foot up toward your hip so that you're feeling a lot of sensation in this outer hip and glute, and then you can fold forward any amount. And as I fold forward, the sensation moves from my outer hip down into my glutes. So I'm going to continue this pose on the floor. And hopefully by now you have found your just right shoelace pose. And again, the sensation that you're looking for is in the outer hip of this top leg through the glute muscles. And if you have the flexibility to fold forward at all, you can also make this a shoulder opener, shoulder stretch by grabbing opposite shoulders or going into a full eagle with your arms and bringing your chest down toward your legs. Similar to with butterfly pose, find the amount of sensation that is right for you and your body. And once you have found that, commit to stillness. I like to think of this pose as a pose of embrace. We have the opportunity to embrace upper body to lower body, right leg to left leg. And this pose has become a place for me to remember the embrace of God. The embrace of God constantly holding me, constantly comforting me and offering me presence in the midst of chaos. Peace in the midst of turmoil. And as I feel this tension through my hips, I'm aware of the reality that new possibilities are being opened up. That I'm taking care of parts of my body that take care of me as I move through my day. And that in these moments of stillness, of quiet, that God is moving. That new possibilities are being opened up. That places of tension can give way to new life. Let's take 2 breaths together in shoelace pose on the right side. And then very gently take your top foot and begin to unfold from this pose. Straighten both your legs out in front of you. Shift your weight from side to side. You can windshield wiper your knees if that feels good. And just release the tension that has been held in that pose. And we'll go to the other side. So if you were in a cross-legged position, you can take your opposite leg on top. If you were crossing one leg over, go ahead and take that other leg on top, and remembering that it's always an option to place a pillow or a rolled up towel or blanket underneath to support that top leg. And if you want to take full shoelace cow face pose, you can just wiggle your legs, your feet back toward your hips until your knees are stacked on top of one another. And in the chair, you would just take the opposite leg on top and fold forward any amount. So once you've found that just right amount of sensation and you have a pose that you'll be able to hold for an extended period of time, you can fold forward if that feels good. You can stay upright. Again, you can come into eagle arms over your knees or tucked inside your knees. Finding that closeness, that embrace. And then eventually settling in and finding stillness. Different sides of your body may feel very different. We have different levels of flexibility from side to side, from day to day. So be gentle with yourself. Accept what your body is saying to you. Never trying to push or force, but just finding the right amount of sensation on this opposite side. Move your consciousness toward the parts of your body that are touching each other. The top leg to bottom leg, maybe the torso to the top leg. If you have your arms crossed, bottom and top arm. And know that God is embracing us. Here in your body, God is present. There's nothing you need to do. There's nothing you need to accomplish. The purpose of this moment is yielding to the loving presence of God. Again, if you find that just right amount of sensation has become uncomfortable, you may always readjust in your body to find a space that is welcoming for you. And you also have the option of breathing into discomfort. Of knowing that this posture will not last forever. And that discomfort is different than pain. And there is a kind of growth that accompanies willingness to enter discomfort. And that it can be a place where we meet God. Let's take 2 deep breaths together on this opposite side of shoelace. Slowly and gently begin to move your top foot off of your bottom leg and straighten out both your legs. Those are our 2 postures for this practice. You might want to move your legs side to side. And we'll end together just in an easy seat. Again, in a chair or on the floor, both are fine. Place your hands on your knees, close your eyes, lengthen your spine. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Loving God, we thank you that you are present in our bodies. That you did not disregard our earthly, fleshly existence, but came in the form of Jesus Christ, knowing what it means to be human. And because of that, we are invited to find you here in spaces of connection and communion with our own bodies. Knowing that you are not afraid of our embodiment, but that you invite us into an experience of you that is rooted and grounded in our own bodies. Thank you for being present to us in this practice. Thank you for being present to us as we are far apart from one another. Move and live and be within us, we pray. In the name of the Word made flesh, Jesus Christ. Amen. Thank you for practicing with me tonight.